Okay, we are now live on YouTube.
Amazing.
Really? Wow.
And I should be sharing the screen right now as well.
You are. I will just go ahead and mute everyone.
Thank you, Tara. Right. I'll stop meeting people. Let's start talking. Hello, everyone. Welcome. London Excel Meetup, November. We have Faraz just waiting in the wings to take us through some Power Automate with Excel. Until then, I'll just go through my usual stuff about what to expect from the group and upcoming events. And then I'll let Faraz take over, introduce himself and what to expect from him and his side. So usual stuff to note. First of all, that we are live on YouTube at the moment as well. So Zoom and on YouTube. And this is all recorded there. So the live event is also the recorded event. The link in the Meetup description is the exact same link. So if you miss anything during this session and you want to watch the replay, it's the same link that's already in the on the event page. And if you do want to receive the follow-up email, which we always send after the event, then make sure you've RSVP'd to it, because it only gets sent to those who have RSVP'd to the event. So I don't annoy everybody in the group who wasn't here. And I don't know what will be on that yet. There'll be mentions of upcoming events, but also anything that Faraz may want to share or anything that could potentially happen during this event will be in that email. So if you want it, make sure you're RSVP. Moving on to the upcoming events. This is the point where Taya turns her camera off. Obviously, the big news in terms of events is the Global Excel Summit, which Taya's organising, hence her embarrassment, which is February next year, 6th, 7th and 8th. Many of you will be aware of this already because you've attended before, and I've mentioned it in the Meetup group. But if you're not, it's a big hybrid conference in London, UK, and also online. The 8th of Feb is online only. 6th and 7th of Feb is both. So we'll be live in London if you want the real deal. Next slide goes into some, oh dear, messed up my animations, look. Goes into some detail on that. So there's also masterclass sessions on the 5th and the 9th. I'm doing one on the 5th and various other stuff. There's currently a 30% discount, which expires on the 27th, which I think Taya said was Monday. And there's a code in the bottom right for LEM, London Excel Meetup, 15 for another 15% off. So in terms of pricing, this is about as good as it gets. And those prices you see on screen are for 3 days. And on the right is 3 days plus a masterclass, which is pretty sensational in terms of pricing if you know how much training costs. You get a training session and a 3-day event. With all the stuff there, the networking of all the speakers and other people there, CPD points, RC expert, 30 plus sessions, always shenanigans. It is a big thing. So feel free to check that out. Link in the bottom left, but it's simply globalexcelsummit.com. Taya obviously did well to get that URL. Imagine if we didn't get that one. Moving on to these events, to be honest, not a great deal to say. Everything's happening next year, really. I don't know if there'll be something in December or not. My December is pretty mental, so possibly not, to be honest. I find it difficult to fit these in around the other stuff going on at the moment. Christmas is crazy, work and 2 kids and all that stuff as well. But in January, we do have Melina. This will be our 3rd time. She often takes the January slot. It's a bit of a thing. Online for those calling from different countries now. And that will be on Tuesday, the 9th of January. Quite a normal day for us, the Tuesday, for these events. And it'll be on Power Query, in real life examples. There's no details on the event page yet. Just a title. There's no further details on what the takeaways will be, but Yes, Power Query stuff. You just do it, and you see Power Query, you just tick the box and come. Then the summit, which I've literally just spoke about, and then on the 6th of March, have Pragati come in. Once again, no topic or venue. That'll be in person only in London. So that venue will be organised nearer the time. Got plenty of time to organise that. Pragati's from the data platform, Power BI, etc. world, as opposed to the Excel world. But yeah, we are emerged. Just like the Global Excel Summit is not really an Excel summit; it's an Excel and Power BI summit. And so is this group. You have to change the URL to. Oh look, I'm messing up the animation again. Right, and that is me. So that I don't mess up any more slideshow stuff, I better get my share off and get the real expert in for us to do some talking about power stuff, Power Automate stuff. Faraz, let me tag you in.
Sure.
We need a wrestler name, don't we? Right, where's the my share button?
No problem. I'll just share my screen. So
Right, I found it. It's on the other screen. Better keep moving it around.
okay, guys. So let me quickly share my screen and let me quickly introduce myself. And let me keep the house open over here and the chat box. Okay. Cool. So lovely, guys. Welcome to this lovely meetup in London, and see what a beauty, I'm sitting in Saudi Arabia, connecting with Alan in London, and this virtual space is letting us connect everyone over here. And thank you, Tia. Thank you, Alan, for inviting me today. And today my topic is about Power Automate. Just let me quickly introduce about myself. I'm Faraz Shaikh and Microsoft MVP in Saudi Arabia. And I'm a certified trainer and office master. And I have a website called excelexciting.com where I write blogs and I do a lot of stuff over there. So as you can see over here, that my mission is with my friends, that we make Excel exciting. Okay, so we all make it Excel exciting and we find it an easiest and coolest solution what can help the community to use this product in an easier and a quicker way. So I also have a Meetup group, Saudi Arabia. So you can also feel free to join. And on my LinkedIn channel, where it's Excel Exciting, I always combine all the meetups happening around the globe over here. And by the way, we are having a massive event coming up, Global Excel Summit. So make sure that you are there in person over there. And that would be really interesting. And I'll try my best to be there. So I hope to see that. So let's look, what do we have today? So far I have got this responses. Okay, that was quick. And if you haven't filled the form, no problem, no worries. I just want to have a quick idea. Okay, so I have one guy who's having a Mac, and that's not a survey from myself. Okay, Alan, Mac. Oh, Mac. Okay, yes. Tia, yes, she is. Thanks for the support, Tia. So lovely. Okay, so we are on the suite of Office 365. This is lovely. Dynamic arrays, Power Query. Cool. So a lot of them are using Power Query. Okay, you are using Power Automate flows. So I'll quickly introduce about Power Automate. Okay, so if you like to access office.com, or if you are using an office.com, Power Automate is a cloud-based technology which allows you to do stuff automatically. Let's say that you are receiving an email and you wanted to forward that email. And now you'll say that, Faraz, okay, fine, we also have that in Outlook. What is so special about it? No, the special thing is that it can just forward it. It can keep that attachments into OneDrive. You can do all those crazy stuff. Okay, but we are going to look very simple flows, and we are going to see how we are going to build it. So once you come to land to office.com, or you are, I'm really sorry, but this Zoom thing is annoying me about that. Okay, no problem. So once you log into your office.com account and you come over here, you should definitely find it Power Automate. Okay, it must be over here. And if you don't have, and if you're using your work account, then you make sure that your admin has given you that access to use that Power Automate. And let me show it to you from the Outlook one. So let's say that you are having Outlook. Sorry about that, Teams. Let's say that this is your Outlook account. And once you land on your Outlook, and even from here, you can access Power Automate. So there are different ways to access it. And this is the easiest way, that you come on office.com and you get all your apps over here. So once you land on Power Automate page, okay, so it would look like this. And if you're signing it for the first time, it will ask you the location. So you just choose your location for the closest one to your region. So for me, already default has been set for Saudi Arabia. So I'm using that one. Now, this pane, which is over here, you can see that you can create your template, you can create the flows, you have templates, and there's a documentation where you can go and learn more in detail about it. So, and they are also having some events coming up, which will always been shown over here. Now, when you're starting in Power Automate, any kind of thing, so always just go and see the templates, because there are many templates available online from Microsoft itself. So let's say I would just like to see for Excel. So I will get a lot of Excel related template, Excel OneDrive. So I will get an Excel related, which is coming for OneDrive and Excel. You can see over here, it's Excel and attachments to SharePoint. So it is going to give you, it's going to save a lot of your time. So you can just select that template. And if you have some tweets, you can just add it up over here and it will automatically save that tweets also. Let's come back to the template area. And let's see if somebody has shared it with you, can share with me, or there are many others. You can feel free to explore it. And even like you have for Google Gmail as well. So if you have your emails coming from Gmail and you have some attachments and you want to drop it into your Dropbox, then you can do that as well. Now, when you come to create, okay, we are going to look if we have some time for approvals, okay, and but right now we're just going to focus only in this area, okay. So and my flows are the flows which I have created over here. So you can see that a lot of flows I have created over here, and this one you can see it over here. And so if you have a desktop Power Automate, then you can as well see the flows which are created for the desktop and shared with me. So if somebody has shared with you, you can simultaneously work together and collaborate with each other, and you can create the flow. Okay. So let's come back over here to create. So whenever we are coming to create now in flow, if you see, there is an automated cloud flow, there's an instant cloud flow, schedule, desktop, and process mining. We are just going to look the simple ones. We are just going to see how are we going to create an automated instant and schedule one. Okay. Now, automated, what do you mean by automated flow? Automated flow, let's say that you have received an email having an attachment. So this is an automated action happening. Okay. So like somebody will send you an email anytime. Okay. So in that case, automated flows works the best. Instant, let's say that instance, what do you mean by instant? Instant means like you are going to do it immediately. Let's say that you have an 100 emails and you would like to search in your 100 emails which are having an attachment and save those attachment to the OneDrive. So that is, you are doing it then and there itself immediately, but it will not take action as it receives. Now, schedule one is something you will schedule it like every Monday. You would like to see your 100 emails which has an attachments, and then you need to save them on a specific date. Okay, so it's very simple. Let's come here also. You can create the flow from here as well. Okay, so you can see over here. So let's try to go and create an instant one, because we need to take action. Now here you can always give your flow a nice name. You can call this as London Excel Meetup 2023. Okay, so once I select this, and it will be a manual one. Okay, now let's go and create. Now, this is a new interface. What is over here right now, we can see. So in your manual flow, you can have your different inputs. Okay, so you have settings, you have your parameters over here. So let's say that you wanted to take some input, you need to put some string. But right now we will make it very simple. So let's say that I have this flow, and in this one, let's say that you would like to have weather. Now, what we are going to create the flow is that whenever I will click on that flow or I will run that flow, I need to capture the weather data from the MSN weather. So, okay, so I need to get the current weather for today, okay, or the weather forecast or something. So let's make it very simple. Let's get the current weather. Okay. Now, once you have this current weather, in fact, so let's say that you have for Saudi Arabia, and we would like to have it periods, no problem. And in fact, let's say MSN. MSN. Okay. So let me come here and send weather. MSN weather app. Okay, perfect. So let's say that we'll put it for the region called the MAM, and this is a place we would like to have it. So I'm just going to simply copy this. Okay, copy this from here. So if you hear me saying command, then please excuse me, because I'm been using Mac on this one. So you heard me saying command. So I'll go to my flow and I'm just going to say that, okay, this is the, that's not going to copy, no problem. Copy it out. Okay, so it's a link. Okay, no problem. Okay, let's put it like this. The mom. Let's put the map. And let's save this one. It's going to take this input and it's going to search and give us the result. Now, what we are going to do is that you can just expand it and you can just make it small, and you can just, this is a nice layout they have. This has recently come up, and let's test it out. Let's test it out and let's see what do we get it over here. So MSN with the data, continue. Meanwhile, I'll try to. So we are expecting heavy rains. Okay, so see. Oh wow. This is a trick when you have something with a hyperlink and you like to copy it and it's showing you hyperlink, you can just paste it somewhere in the text box and then it will automatically come over there. So I'll click on run the flow. Right now I'm testing it. So what's gonna do? So see, I'm getting those all inputs. Okay, so I'm going to get that information, what is coming up. So now here it has given me the forecasted in the MAM. Yeah, see, it has given me the time, the unit of measurement, the temperature, the time, kind of a temperature, and all other information. We need that only as well. So now after this, I get this information. What I can do is I can click on edit and I can click next and add. And let's go to Excel. Now, when you come to Excel, make sure that, see, there are two kinds of Excel you can see over here. One is for OneDrive and one is for business. So if you are using your Excel online for business, which is your work and your school account. So you can log in from that. But if you're using your personal OneDrive, which is a personal Microsoft 365 subscription, then in that case, you are going to use your OneDrive. Okay. So what I'll be going to do, I can click over here and can see more rows. So basically, I will have over here in my OneDrive, I've already created a file which is called a weather data. Now in my files, this is the file which is named as weather data. And this weather data, I have already created the table. So yeah. So the weather data, I have already created a table where I have said date, location, condition, temperature, and some summary, some information which is there. Now make sure that it is converted into a proper Excel table. Okay, so you can give it your table like TBL and weather data. Okay, you can call this as weather data. So whenever you are preparing your tables, whether you're using Power Automate or you're using Power Query or you're using any other technology in with the tables, Excel table, make sure that you give them the name. So you can easily identify when you're taking it into any kind of like Power Automate or you're putting it into Power Query or Power BI, you can easily understand, okay, fine, this is the table what you're referencing it. Otherwise, it's going to say your table 1, table 2, table 3. That will not make any sense for us. So by the way, so fine, we have this table over here. We have put some inputs over here. And now let's go and pull those weather information and put it into Excel. So I'm going to say, add a row, okay. And this is my OneDrive, my library. It's going to ask you for the library. Okay. I don't know why this is not coming over here. Invalid authentication, okay. What is the problem? Let me test it out. So once you come here, let me see. I'll delete this. Okay. Let's put it again. Let's add an action and let's say one Excel and see more. And the rows, it's going to say add rows into a table. Yes, this is the one, OneDrive. Okay, so just bear with me over here. I know what would be the issue. So let me come here. More connections. Okay. I need to re-authenticate my sign-in credentials. That's the reason it is asking. It's not showing me the path. Otherwise, it would have showed me the path. So by the way, if there is any questions so far, if anything is there, I'll be happy to take those.
No questions as yet, no.
Lovely.
It's real life, Faraz, eh? Real life.
Hi there, Alan. Oh my God. So this is lovely, no? So whenever it's a demo, so whenever we are giving a demo, the things have to go happen like this. But no problem. Allah Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Okay, so let me see. the data information. Let me go here, edit. And let me see if this is working. So we can at least, I can show it to you from here. But I believe it will ask me still for authentication because it is not able to authenticate it. Okay. Yeah, see, it's not able to authenticate it. So I need to anyhow get this thing authenticated. Okay. So let me try it out with I'm really sorry about it, but let me try it out something here. Just for a second, I'll stop sharing my screen.
Sure. There's a couple of questions in the chat, but handle this first and then we can always come over.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, otherwise I'm going to use my other account to just fetch it out the information.
I'm hoping the answer to Anne's question is yes.
Can you use Power Automate with OneNote? Oh, that's a good one. I haven't tried it out, Power Automate with OneNote, but we can definitely check that the connector is there or not. We can definitely check that.
I know, Jessica, yeah. A rhetorical question. I just get frustrated with Microsoft logins, full stop. I was the other day, I must have spent, see, this is how embarrassing it is, all this MVP like. I must have spent 20 minutes wondering why in Excel I didn't have I couldn't get data from Power BI, like it wasn't there. And I went and checked my tenant settings and it was all turned on. I checked everything and I was in a different tenant. I had to switch.
Yeah, and actually there's a lot of changes that happened right now in Power Automate. If you have been using Power Automate, you might have observed that the visual has been changed a lot. They have did a lot of UI enhancement and that's really great, you know. Okay, so let me push it to you over here. Okay, so this is my another account. Let me share my screen and we hope that everything should go well. Okay, so let me put it over here. This is good. So you can see my screen, Alan? Is it okay?
We can see it for us.
Yeah, great. Okay, so in Power Automate, what I did, I just sign in with my other personal account. This is not a business account. This is a personal one, which I was mentioning it earlier. So in this one, let's say that you wanted to create a flow, which is over here. Let's go create. Let's create an instant crowd flow and manually. Okay, so now you can see this is an old interface, but right now what you saw over here, it was a different interface, which the UI has been updated, you know. So the new UI is, this is something, I'm using a personal one, which is a free account. So I think they might soon push it over also over here. So if you have a manual trigger, let's say that we have this manual trigger, and then we go to the next step, and then we say the weather, MSN weather data, and we say get the forecast for the current weather. Okay, and it's going to connect to the MSN, and then say that we wanted to have it for the mom in Eastern, you know, I would say Saudi Arabia, the mom, you know, that is only the thing what I'll mention it. And then I'm going to select the unit of measurements, what I would like to have it. And in fact, I have not given my flow the name, so I can even call over here as LEM. The next one is 2023. That's over here, and let's save it. So now when we go click test, and test it over here, and continue, and we should see the exactly the same output what we have saw earlier. This is the weather data. Okay, so you got the output, how's the weather, it's clear, it's in centigrades, and then there's a lot of other weather information which is available over here. Now let's come over here, we can click edit, and now what we need like to do, we would like to put it in Excel online. Okay, so we are going to say Excel, and I'm going to use OneDrive because it will be a personal one. But before that, I should make my Excel online folder. Let's come over here and let me come over here, OneDrive. And let me make a new folder, LEM and Excel Meetup 2023. Okay. And in this one, I will have a new Excel workbook. Yes, you can. New Excel workbook, which will be there. And I'll just quickly copy some information from your condition, temperature, high, low, and day summary. Come over here and paste it out. Come here and paste. Okay. So once you have this, and if and we'll say this is LEM 20. Then Excel Meetup, and this is our file over here. We have this data, and now I'll go insert and convert this to table. Yes, my table has headers, and in this table design, I'll call this as TBL underscore TH underscore data. Okay. So far, everything is good. So our file is also set. Now, when you come over here, and let's go add new Excel OneDrive, and let's go and we say we need to add a row into the table. So what we want to do, once we get that data, we want to capture that information and we wanted to place it into that row. So I'm going to say add to the row in a table. Now, once I click over here and we saw that we should get over here, this London Excel Meetup 2023, and we have that Excel file. Now, if I have multiple tables, that's the reason, this was the reason I have requested you that whenever you are giving your table, you should always prefer to give a name. Because if you have multiple tables, then it will be very hard for you to find it out which is the table I should select over here. Now, it is very simple. The things are very simple over here now. So you just need to add the date. So let's search over here, date. So this is the date over here, last updated. So the location. So let's say we put that location as well. So, and we have conditions over here. COND conditions. So it's going to say how is the condition. Temperature, temperature. Okay, so we say this, and let's say that we added the day summary. Okay. Day summary. Okay, in fact, the day summary was for some other reasons I have kept it. Okay, so we can just see something what is interesting. Okay, by the way, we can just keep all this information only. For so far, we are good with this one. So we're going to take this information, get the current weather data, save it. And now when I will run my flow and let me test it out, click over here and test it. Continue. So make sure that one more thing is there, that when you are trying to log in for the first time, when you're trying to connect, it will ask you the connection authentication because it's going to take the request of that API. So it will ask you whether are you allowing Power Automate connect to your Google account or your Microsoft Outlook account. So it will be one-time authentication, which it will be there. So you can just allow it. So it can help you to connect your file. So when we come back over here, London Excel Meetup, As you can see over here, that we have that data being added over here. So we have this date, time, and it's clear. And how is the weather right now? It's been added over here. So let's say that in this flow, which we ran, let's come over here and let's edit it again. And let's say that we would like to have it for London. Let's look at NDON, London. So London right now, we have 53 degrees Fahrenheit. And let's come over here to your edit flows. And I can edit, and instead of that, I can say London and save. And save it over here. And test it out, test the flow, and test again. And run. Done. When I'll come over here, I got that London data also added over here. So this is interesting. Now, what you see is over here is in Celsius. Okay, so what we saw over there, what that was in Fahrenheit. So the data right now, what we are seeing it over here is in Celsius one. So let's come back over here and let me quickly just give you a brief about this area, this place, which is over here. This I usually call it as an cockpit, the monitoring cockpit area, because this place allows you to like share, send, export. You can see the analytics. You can see what, when and what time, how much second it take the flow to run. So now whenever you have tested the flow, you have seen that it is saying that it has been test succeeded. Okay. But when I'll just simply run the flow, it will be giving you a different status saying that succeeded. So in case if there is an error, it shows that it took just 1 second to run that flow, get that information and put it into your OneDrive. Now, you can share it from here. If you have a premium account, you can share it, you can save it, you can delete it, or if you just don't like to run this flow, you can just simply come here also, turn it off. You can just come here and there's an option for turning it off from here, and as well as you can turn it off from here. Okay, so, and you can see all the connectors available over here. So by the way, we can even see over here with our earlier flow, which was there, my flows. Yeah, so we need to have it over here. So you can see the connectors are coming up over here. Now, after this, let's say that you would like to have different cities information over here. So now in my Excel, what I'm trying to introduce you is right now is the loop part, like how I can make this information dynamic. So let's say there are 3 locations which I would like to take the weather data, and I don't need to go every time over here in my flow. Like I don't need to go manually input them. So the easiest way is that you come back to your Excel workbook. Let us put it over here only, and let's call this as location. And in this location, I'm going to convert this as my Excel table. So I'm going to say this is my table has headers, and location. I'm going to give my table name tbl underscore location. Now in this location, I'm going to give the names of the location. So let's say it's Mumbai, London. By the way, in the London, if you have guys joined now, there's a massive event going to happen. So make sure that you register for that event. And that's my friend Brianna. She stays over there. So when it's months of November, I always remember her because I usually be there in Bulgaria. So lovely. Okay, so we have this table, we have the weather over there, and we need to push this information into this Excel workbook. Okay, let's come here. Let's come to our flow. And this is our flow, by the way. Now, when you think this, what will happen? What's going to happen now? Let me delete this one. Okay. And we want this weather data, but we wanted that it should go and read all the rows information. So we are going to see how this thing's going to go in loop. And trust me, it's very easy. Okay, so when we come over here, I'll go to that Excel connector. I'll come to that Excel connector, OneDrive. And then what I'm going to do is make sure that I get those rows. Okay, so I'm going to write get rows or get table or list the rows. Sorry, we have the action called list the rows in the table. So whatever the rows are there, it's going to list it out, okay, for me. So let's come over here, come here. And we have that location. Okay, so this has been done over here. So if you have to, like, if suppose, let's say that you have a very long list and you'd like to filter it out or something, you can do that filtering out. You can more help on, you can get the help on the help section area, and it can give you some more information that how can you filter it out. So right now we are just going to keep it very simple, sweet and simple, just hide the advanced setting. Now when I will come over here, you can see that I'm getting the list of the location. Now, the reason of my adding the list in the first place after the manual trigger, because the actions, so always remember that Power Automate works on actions, trigger, and then action. So whenever the trigger will happen, so like when the mail is received, when the mail is arrived, so these are all triggers. When the value has changed, so these are the triggers. So whenever the trigger will happen, then only the actions will happen. So you cannot have an action before the trigger. Remember that. Now, in this case, so we have this trigger and we have this actions going on. So if I need to move this action, I can move it down. But now when I'll come and check, I am not having that table action. This table is not showing, that action is not coming up over here because it is after the get weather data. So I need to just simply move it up. So it has moved up. And now when I'll come here, I still have that location. So now if you see, as soon as I put it into location, it has added it into a loop. Now loop, what it will do, it will go into every value in that list of the rows, and then it's gonna give it to us. So let's say we will save this one. And let's test it out our flow. Let's test this one and run and done. Run and done. So as you can see, it has, if you click over here, it will show you that your flow has ran. If you see the raw outputs over here, you can see all that shared items which is there. It has been connected and it has been listed also over here. So now after we got this, we're gonna add a new step and we will say Excel, again OneDrive, and add the row to the table. Now, what will happen if I try to add the row outside this loop area? It will not gonna work because all my lists are going to happen in this loop. So I need to move it over here inside. Okay, so I'll just delete it from here, delete the step and add an action, which I will say Excel, OneDrive, and then I need to add. So add a row to the table. So once I add it, again, I need to select the part. And in this case, like if you have multiple things, what you can do is also you can add a parameter, like you can keep the path like this. This is a path and you can just call that parameter. So parameter is nothing, but it will just hold that value. So let me quickly show you that as well. Customs, or we can just see it after this one. Okay. So that is a path which we have to look. And then in that part, okay, so let me come here. Okay. And yeah, so we have that weather data. We need to see some more information. So we have the date. We'll call that as a date. Once you come to that date one, date is updated, the location, and you have the condition, and we have the temperature. Perfect. So this is so far okay. I'll save this one and let's go outside and now try to test it out. And let's run this and run this flow. Done. So it's running, and trust me, it's gonna give that information. How is the weather in Mumbai, in Bulgaria? So this is how you can quickly use some input parameters, and then you can let the action happen, you know. So far, any questions are there, Alan? I'll be happy to take them, and then I can continue with the next one.
Yes, mate. Did you answer the question about the button? Did that get covered?
Does that mean that if you step up an automated flow, you must re-authenticate it every time you change your password? Yes. If you change your password, you have to re-authenticate it. Don't know, it's mine, just Microsoft signing credential, really?
Oh yeah, don't worry about that one.
Okay, I'm not expecting that's mine. Okay, thank you, great. There's OneNote. There is OneNote for business. Okay, thank you, David. Thank you for letting me know. I use Copilot option in Power Automate and just write the natural language. Yes, you can do that. Where does the button that triggers cloud flow actually live isn't? Then somewhere is it possible to access it within the app? Example, I can press the button and copy the content of the email document to OneNote. Yeah, what you're trying to say, Jessica, I'll take this question separately, you know, later on. And I'll continue with the other part of that one. Where does the button that triggers the flow actually live? Is it your tenant? Yeah, it is in your tenant only. That button is available in your tenant only. If you are into your area, you have this button over here. And by the way, if you sign in from your mobile app, if you download Power Automate, the manual trigger flows, you can use your Power Automate and you can just run it on your mobile, you know. So you can just simply open Power Automate, and if you have your flows, you can just select your flow and you can just ask it to run. So let's see, it's done. And you can see that if you would like to for some reason, maybe you would like to debug your flow or you would like to see them, you can see all your weather data, everything, and you can just see that information coming up over here. So it will say you that, okay, fine. For the first record, of the weather data, this is the information has been put. So you can debug it as well over here. So you need to come out, and from here you can check it out. Now remember that this history stays only for 28 days in this area. After that, you will not. Could email link? Could you email link so that the others can trigger as well? I'm sorry, Baljit, I'm not able to get your question. Okay, I'll continue meanwhile. Okay, so now let's say that I have a flow. Okay, I would need okay. I actually my other tenant, there is a re-authentication issue is there. Let me try it again once again. If it is working fine, then it will be magic, you know. It would definitely a magic for us. So let's say that we have a flow where we are trying to build up an approval process, or let's say that, okay, let me put it up over here. And if it is Mumbai, if my location is Mumbai, I don't want you to get the weather data. Okay. So what I will be doing it over here is that when I will go, okay, I'm still facing that issue. I don't know why, but no worries. We always have a way to do it. Something. So whenever we have Mumbai, we would like to skip the Mumbai record and we just like to concentrate on London and Bulgaria. So let's come over here to our flow, manage, and let's come here and edit the flow. So before I was talking about this parameter, yeah, okay, fine. So what we would do is that we would like to use this path every time. So every time I need to come here, go there, London Excel meetup, and then that path. What I can do, I can just click here, okay, and I can say in controls, sorry, standard version custom EAR. Okay, where it is, where it is. Built-in standard. Okay. There is something called, we have operators. Yes, this is what I was looking. Compose, and let's say in compose, I will call this. This one is an input one, and I'm going to save this as a path. Okay. This is actually used for calculation, but you can use this as well. So now over here, what I'll do, I'll come here and I'll put this over here. Okay. And again, I should come here and let's one minute. There are many connectors which we are using it. So let's see. Okay, let's keep the connector aside for some time. Let's delete this one. Let's come here. Let's put this one. So if you delete this, come here, come here. London Excel meetup. Let's come here. And let's click on the locations. Now what I will do is that I can check as well as over here that if that is Mumbai, then in that case you don't need to do any action. But here I'm trying to show you that how can you use the conditions and you can work it out. So let's say that my locations, if it is my location is choose the value, what is the location. Okay, so it's going to put it into definitely into the loop. So let me delete this over here and delete it here. So if my location is equal to, so you have this option over here, equal to, not equal to, contain or start with, begin with, you can choose that and you can say Mumbai, then does not equal to, because if it is a Mumbai, we don't want to do those steps. But if it is not Mumbai, then just, okay, fine, keep it blank. So let's go over here, OneDrive. Oh, sorry, Excel OneDrive, and row, add the row to a table. Okay, so now what had happened, I haven't yet connected my Excel workbook yet. Click over here, and then we have our weather data. Now I have not yet got that because I need to get the weather data, which I haven't yet taken. So get the current weather data. Let's come here. We need to put it up. Okay, this is fine. Metric, and then we need to put the location. So let's come here and let's put the date and let's put the location. And when we have this location and when we have the conditions as well, so it will tell you easily. Okay, so this is working fine now. This should be fine, inshallah. We hope that we inshallah, we should be not having any errors in this one. So let's go. Let me cross my fingers and let me test it out for London Excel Meetup. Perfect. So it's running, it's testing out, text succeeded, and you can see that I just got the information for London and Bulgaria only. So you can use this way, and you can really build your own flows in a very complex as well as some simple flows as well. So right now, what you can see over here, if you just look the visual right now, the only thing that it looks like a Lego block, like you're building up a Lego block. You have a manual trigger, and then you have another block which says the list the rows. Then you have a block of condition. Then you have a block of condition, yes and no. And this is how it's like I feel that when you're working with Power Automate, it's like a Lego blocks. You're building up your Lego blocks, and then you're building up your solution. So in this case, is we in case if we have Mumbai also in the list, and if you want to take any action, let's say that you wanted to send an email. So let's say that if it is an email, when it is an email, so make sure that in email also you have to let's say that you are using Outlook account. So make sure that you are using Outlook 365 for your home, for your work and school account, and this is for something what is for your person. So I can send an email or I can create an event. So every connector has its own own actions, and you can do it out. There are some certain premium connectors which are also available, like you can take the data and put it into PDF. You can push it to Teams. You can push it to your databases. You can create an I just love this approvals. Trust me, this is my tenant is not working right now. I'm having some issues over there. Otherwise, I would like to cover this part, which is a very interesting one, approvals, where you can easily put up a file. Like I can give you a real life business solution. What had happened that I have a OneDrive, and when somebody puts up a file in that OneDrive location, that file can automatically generate an email, send it as an attachment to the user who are in approval. And if they approve or reject, and based on that, the action can happen. It was a very complex flow which I have created, and it was a real life business solution, and it was working. It is still working very well. So I wish we could have done a small part, but you can see all the connectors, you get all of them. You have your actions coming up over there. And so these are the concepts what I would like to cover it up quickly. And this is how you can make your Power Automate more powerful with the help of Excel. And you can use your Excel information and push it to Power Automate, and you can do magics with that one. Yes, Alan. And any questions I have? Yes, I'm done with the presentation.
Okay, sorry. There are no other questions at the moment. No.
In fact, what I can also suggest that if you have a list of email addresses also, in fact, I have created a video also on YouTube about how you can use Power Automate, and you can you can send emails to multiple people. So you can create that as well. If you have, you can list the rows, and then you take the email addresses and then select the connector of email address, and you can send them the emails. And let's say that if you have some emails which you, let's say by location wise, you wanted to send it to some different people, you can still do that. Within that Power Automate, you can use the same conditions, and then you can build up multiple hierarchy. Yeah, Alan, I'm done with that.
Nice. If anybody has any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat, or even unmute yourself and ask Faraz direct. Let's give that a few minutes for us, see if anything comes through.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah. So this was the thing, variables. I was looking for the variables. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was just laughing at Mike's
I
comment.
can meantime I'll explain about the variables. Okay, so somebody can put it up in the chat. So let's say that you have a variable. This was like you have a set variable. Okay, so I'm going to set this variable, and this variable I'm going to call it over here. So let's say that this variable name is, okay, let's come here, add action, var, okay, variable. So we have to initialize a variable. Can be, it's a string, so I'm going to call this as path. Okay, so I'm going to call this as a string, and this is a valid string which is over here. I'm going to save this, and when I'll come here, I can just call this as a path, and let's come here, condition, and call this as a path. And that's a table name. Okay, so let me put it up again over here. It was weather data. Okay, so let me save it and let me test it out. Let's test it out, this one, and save, and let's test it out. Let me check over here. Oh, okay, that's a good question. I can see some questions coming up in the chat. What is the advantage of sending emails via Power Automate rather than mail merge? Okay, so for the mail merge, what you have to stay at your system, and Power Automate is automated and potentially stronger terms and interesting objects. Yeah. Yeah, what Alan has also said is correct, and I would like to add it to Alan's statement that this is a cloud technology. So let's say that you are away from your desk or something, and you have scheduled those email, you wanted to send it on that specific time. You can use Power Automate and send it on that specific time. So you don't need to be at your desk, or you don't need to open your system. If your file is there on your OneDrive or somewhere, you can just make it happen. You can just connect your flows, you can connect your tables, and it will happen. Okay. So I have an error over here, which I will look at later on. So that is what I have today, Alan.
Thank you, Faraz.
Welcome to you. Welcome to you.
I hope people enjoyed it.
Yes, please. Your feedback is very valuable.
And yeah, if you guys want to turn on your cameras, say hi to Faraz and everybody else, we can do that. I think Alan will be stopping the YouTube share shortly. And yeah, you are starting to get some thank yous, Faraz.
Thank you.
Always a very interesting topic with Power Automate.
Yes. And every time when you try to learn it out, you come up into something new, and
Exactly.
it's really interesting. The imagination is endless, when you're working with Power Automate.
I'm just going to copy a question into the chat for us from the YouTube.
Okay, I would like to learn more.
So
Okay.
I'm jumping in and out because of the kids.
Okay, so if you'd like to learn more about Power Automate, I would say this is the best place. You can get more information, and there is a channel from that API guy, Vivek. He is in US and he's making videos. He makes really amazing videos on Power Automate. Vivek, you can see his, and there is called 911 Power Apps. You can see them, and those sessions, those YouTube channels are also having great content over there. And of course, Learn Microsoft is the best place also. You can start from basic, and they can give you for training. And in fact, when I started my session, I have showed that they are hosting some trainings always free of cost, which is there, and you can always feel free to join that. Welcome, Hardeep. I was happy that you got the introduction about Power Automate. Thank you, Christian. Yes. Andreas Jensen is also having great resources. Yes, I agree with him. He makes a lot of solutions on Power Automate. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Earlier it was called as Microsoft Flows, but later on they changed it to Power Automate. Yeah. It's always a flow. Okay. Is there a difference if what I save the Excel file attachment during the Is there a difference if I want to save an Excel file attachment to an email received on a private email address and send it to a Gmail or? Yes, the question what you have sent it to me on the YouTube, is there a difference if I want to save an Excel file attached to email received on private email or if it is sent on a shared mailbox? Yes, you can receive the email on your private mail email addresses where you have to use the connector. Let's say that it is a Google connector, Google email Gmails. So you have to use a Gmail connector over here. So let me come here quickly and show it to you over here. I'll share my screen again. Let me see the chat. So when you come over here, you see, you search for Gmail and you should find this connector. But when you're using Microsoft, you have to make sure that Outlook, and in Outlook, you have two of them. Okay, one is Office 365 and one is Outlook.com. If you're using your personal one, then you use this. But if you're using your work or business, then you have to use this one. It's very also called OneDrive or SkyDrive.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, great.
What are my 5 versions? Oh, name changes. Don't you love them, mate? Cheers, Laura, on the YouTube. Right. I think I'll close down the YouTube stream now then, team. So for everybody on YouTube, thank you for attending. It is closing now.
In fact, last week it was whether, yeah, okay, fine. This is